Wen Zhuan had been in a romantic relationship with Chen Hizhu for 3 years. One day, she followed her boyfriend back to his home, only to run into Lin Zhu, his childhood sweetheart. Right in front of Wen Zhuan, Lin Zhu confessed her sincere feelings to Chen Hizhu and mentioned their childhood promise that they would stay together if they were still single after graduation, her eyes filled with deep affection. Chen Hizhu reacted ambiguously, neither accepting nor refusing her confession, completely ignoring his official girlfriend Wen Zhuan, making the atmosphere extremely awkward. At this moment, Wen Zhuan suddenly came to her senses and realized that she was living in a romance novel world. Lin Zhu was the legitimate female lead with innate aura, while she herself was just a sad supporting female character, who was always overshadowed and embarrassed to set off the heroine. Her boyfriend Chen Hizhu was precisely the infatuated second male lead, who would be filled with endless regret and end up getting nothing in the end. She clearly remembered the follow-up plot to save face. Lin Zhu would ask her superior to pretend to be her boyfriend. This fake boyfriend was handsome, generous and wealthy, pretending to be deeply devoted to Lin Zhu in public. However, Wen Zhuan had seen this man long before. His name was Yang Ruiz. He often appeared in high-minus and clubs and even anorectal hospitals, always staying with different men, leading an extremely chaotic private life. Chen Hizhu's mother hurried forward to smooth things over, warmly invited Lin Zhu to stay for dinner, and introduced the two girls to each other formally. Learning that Wen Zhuan was Chen Hizhu's girlfriend, Lin Zhu immediately pretended to be wronged and sad with reddened eyes, putting on a weak and pitiful look to win others' sympathy. Having seen through her deliberate performance, Wen Zhuan spoke calmly to test her words, revealing the fact that the two kept in close frequent contact in private and had excessive intimate interactions, piercing through their ambiguous boundaries relationship and making the scene more embarrassing. Chen Hizhu always favored Lin Zhu, secretly blaming Wen Zhuan for being sharp-tongued, and never cared about her feelings and grievances. During the casual chat after dinner, Chen's mother asked about Lin Zhu's emotional status. Lin Zhu pretended to be shy and admitted that she was in a relationship, and her boyfriend was her direct superior and company boss Yang Ruiz. Upon hearing this, Chen Hizhu was instantly filled with a strong sense of crisis. Revealing obvious loss and reluctance, he even naturally picked ginger out of Lin Zhu's bowl out of ingrained habit, for he knew clearly that she disliked ginger. Years of exclusive preference were fully exposed. Yet, he could never remember Wen Zhuan's living habits and preferences. Wen Zhuan felt utterly disappointed and questioned him on the spot, sharply pointing out his extreme partiality, which instantly froze the atmosphere at the dinner table. After the meal, Wen Zhuan went to the balcony to relax alone. Lin Zhu took the initiative to come forward under the pretense of caring for her, persuading her to calm down and claiming that she and Chen Hizhu were just close childhood friends who had let go of past feelings and focused on their own current relationship. Wen Zhuan had long seen through their true thoughts. She knew that Chen Hizhu had always regarded Lin Zhu as his fallback in heart, enjoying this unconditional preference all the time, and only panicked when he found Lin Zhu was about to leave him completely. As for Lin Zhu, she was always convinced that she occupied an irreplaceable position in Chen Hizhu's heart. While indulging in his long-term preference, she was also waiting for her destined male lead Yang Ruiz to appear, skillfully wandering between the two men. From then on, Chen Hizhu was distracted all day long, obsessed with Lin Zhu. He often wandered secretly in the community where Lin Zhu lived, filled with jealousy and unwillingness, and completely neglected his girlfriend Wen Zhuan. Having seen through this unbalanced relationship thoroughly, Wen Zhuan no longer indulged in it and waited quietly for the plot to unfold step by step. Soon afterwards, Lin Zhu appeared in public with Yang Ruiz, who pretended to be her boyfriend. Seeing the two getting along intimately, Chen Hizhu's inner jealousy and regret broke out completely. He could no longer hide his true feelings and resolutely broke up with Wen Zhuan. He confessed that he had failed to recognize his own heart for a long time, and Lin Zhu had always been his true love deep in his heart. He decided to chase his persistent obsession to make up for his past regrets. 3 years of sincere companionship was completely denied by him, while the past tenderness and heartfelt affection were regarded as mistakes that he mistook Wenjuan for Lin Zhu. Wenjuan was completely disheartened and accepted the breakup calmly. Several people made an appointment for a dinner gathering, where the atmosphere was full of hidden undercurrents. Chen Hizhu and Yang Ruiz, he competed secretly around Lin Zhu, confronting each other everywhere and showing strong male competitiveness. When Juan unexpectedly reunited with Yang Ruiz, whom she had known for a long time, she was fully aware of his hidden private conduct and saw through the truth that he pretended to pursue Lin Zhu affectionately with ulterior motives, but she did not expose it on the spot. During the dinner, Yang Ruiz frequently took the initiative to approach and test Chen Hizhu with ambiguous behaviors, whose thoughts were obvious. Only the naive Lin Zhu failed to notice this and indulged in the sense of superiority of being pursued by two men at the same time. Tired of being a tool person to set off the emotional entanglements of the main characters, Wenjuan made up her mind to withdraw from this chaotic emotional relationship and stay away from all of them completely. However, Lin Zhu refused to let it go easily. She took the initiative to find Wenjuan and pretended to persuade her to reconcile with Chen Hizhu. Her words were full of arrogance, thinking that Wenjuan failed to keep her boyfriend because of her own incompetence and shifting all the faults onto Wenjuan. Wenjuan no longer chose to endure silently, and directly pointed out Lin Zhu's inner scheme. She was reluctant to give up the long-term exclusive love from Chen Hizhu, while craving the decent reliance brought by Yang Ruiz. Wandering between the two just to satisfy her own vanity and never truly cared about anyone. Before leaving, Wenjuan kindly reminded Lin Zhu to find out Yang Ruiz's true personality and see through his hidden true colors instead of being confused by his superficial appearance. After completely getting out of the shadow of heartbreak, Wenjuan adjusted her life state. She raised a beagle puppy alone, devoted all her thoughts to trivial daily life and to her pet dog, looked down on all love entanglements, and lived a free and casual life without being trapped by past emotions any longer. She sent all Chen Hizhu's personal belongings back to his home, cutting off all connections between them thoroughly. On the other side, the emotional farce of those people never stopped. After getting along for a long time, Lin Zhu gradually fell in love with Yang Ruiz and began to prepare for their engagement. After the breakup, Chen Hizhu sank into depression, resigned from his job and persisted in chasing Lin Zhu all day long, trapped in the pain of unrequited love. Just as the two were about to achieve a happy ending, Wenjuan accidentally got hold of Yang Ruiz's private intimate photos. After seeing his true sexual orientation and messy private life clearly, she sent the photos to Lin Zhu to remind her to face the truth. Unexpectedly, instead of waking up, Lin Zhu united with Yang Ruiz and Chen Hizhu to question Wenjuan in person, insisting that Wenjuan deliberately spread rumors and forged photos out of jealousy to destroy her happiness. The three joined forces to accuse and make things difficult for Wenjuan with unreasonable attitudes, which exhausted Wenjuan's last trace of kindness. Having endured enough, Wenjuan let go of the dog leash. The beagle puppy, who had an upset stomach after eating too much cream, suddenly lost control and caused a hilarious chaos on the spot. The three embarrassed people fled in a panic, making the scene extremely funny and satisfying. After this incident, the conflicts among them became completely irreconcilable. Later, Yang Ruiz's hidden thoughts were fully exposed. He approached Lin Zhu never out of sincere love, but just wanted to take this opportunity to get close to Chen Hizhu, for he had long held special feelings for Chen Hizhu. After the truth came out, Yang Ruiz lost control of his emotions and committed extreme acts, illegally imprisoning Chen Hizhu privately. Once the incident was exposed, he was completely disgraced, abandoned by his family and finally sent to prison, ruining his bright future. Suffering successive blows, Lin Zhu was exhausted both physically and mentally, and her aura as the female lead faded completely. The Lin family was also implicated in countless scandals and fell into an awkward situation. Learning all the truth, Chen's mother flew into a rage and made a scene at the Lin family's home, completely breaking off the harmonious relationship they used to have. Hit by emotional betrayal and constant farces, Chen Hizhu suffered a severe mental blow, stayed behind closed doors all day long and sank into endless regret and decadence, eventually paying a painful price for his indecision, partiality and fickleness in feelings. Filled with endless unwillingness, Linzu kept sending messages to blame Wenjuan, believing that Wenjuan had known everything in advance and coldly waited to see her end up in a miserable situation. Faced with her groundless accusations, Wenjuan remained completely calm and had long withdrawn from all the love and hatred in this novel plot. As night fell quietly and the world was peaceful, Wenjuan had long walked out of all past haze. In her spare time, she took her puppy for a walk late at night, maintaining inner peace and tranquility. She had thoroughly stayed away from the absurd and tangled emotional disputes of the three main characters, held her own plain and stable life, and lived a free life beyond the fixed plot arrangement.